What's up, everybody? This is Marty McFly on Rewind That. On today's show on the playback, we're going to find out, did they really say that or no? I've got the footage and I hold everyone accountable. Stay tuned. Man, ever since Jamal got a little bit of money, he comes into the office, pop locking and strutting. I can't even get him to edit my videos anymore. He just sits there and edits his own stuff like he's a star. What am I gonna do with this guy? Hey Jamal, can I at least get some celebratory music? Let's go. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave the comments, like and share. And we do love the cash apps. Just don't give Jamal too much because he's feeling himself. Okay, Jamal, just play the video.
No, I would agree with that super chat wholeheartedly. All right, to touch on a lot of things that he said, because he was making some good points, but he was kind of back and forth as far as what my question was. So I think we can all agree he did pretty much say that, look, a majority of these passport bros, you know what I'm saying, these dudes, they're going over there to meet people. And most of them, even if they say in their minds, look, I want to network, you know what I'm saying, I want to get a little bit of that sweatshop money, you know what I'm saying, get into some international commerce, do some investing, you know what I'm saying, internationally overseas. For the most part, they're going over there for women. That's it. They think they're going to have an easier shot with women over there than they're going to have over here. The $40 or whatever the case it is, it just stretches a lot further over there than it does over here. But also, let's keep in mind, if the issue is you don't want to be over here because there's too many strags over here, you know what I'm saying? There's too many single mothers, baby mamas, too many ratchets, too many women that just don't want to deal with you for whatever reason. You are quote unquote non-select, whatever the reason is that you don't want to deal with these women over here, or because they don't want to deal with you, whatever it is, I don't see how you're going to go over there and change that. It makes no sense whatsoever. So to go to that last comment, the fact of the matter, everything still remains the same. If you lack the confidence, you know what I'm saying, to attract a woman over here, and that's not because there's a problem with the women all of the time. I get it. Women have their issues just like men have theirs. But any man that's going to have an issue with confidence, if he's going to have an issue with self-esteem, if he's going to be to the point where he's calling himself non-select, or he doesn't feel as though he feels as though he's been looked over, which is what I hear a lot of these so-called passport bros saying. They've been looked over by women over here. They have to spend $300 on the date, or they have to hit the Cash App or whatever just to get women to talk to them. And over there, all they got to do is just be American, be black, whatever. If that's the only reason why you're going over there, chances are you're going to deal with the same type of woman. The only difference is she's going to finesse you a little bit easier. That's it. So it almost seems like a grift rather than a movement for happiness or any of that other stuff. The fact of the matter is there's going to be no reward in life for anybody without some kind of risk. So if the issue is people don't want to be rejected, they don't want to risk getting their heart broken, they don't want to risk all types of stuff, it doesn't matter if you're here or if you're there. You are still not, like you're chances are you're not going to have a reward. There's nothing that you can't, that you're going to escape just by stamping your passport and going over there. It makes no difference. You know what I'm saying? If your issue is that women over here, for the most part, you know what I'm saying, if they have their own jobs, if they're making their own money, if they've got their pick of a bunch of different dudes, and for whatever reason, they're not choosing you because they either, number one, don't need you, number two, don't want you. The same types of women overseas, if they've got their own money, they've got their own path to citizenship, they got work visas, they got student visas, they come from families with money, you know what I'm saying? Or they know how to make their own money, they're educated, they don't want you neither. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're going to look over you just the same. Because chances are they've already got some man over there. And if you're telling me that the women overseas are just more submissive and have a lot more respect for masculinity than women over here, I want to know how you're going to step on the foreign soil that you yourself are totally foreign to and get to these women without having to first go through the men.
All right. So he makes some good points. And to the uninitiated, it makes sense. But here's where the original question I posed to him falls to the floor. Originally, when I asked Ant, my original question, and it's not just to Ant, because I don't want to feel like I'm picking on him. It's not what I'm doing.
No, you got a question just stated. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Hold on, wait. You gotta let me cook. I didn't interrupt you not one time. I
didn't hear a question earlier.
But you gotta let me go. Like, that's what we doing here. So the question that I asked Ant originally was, have you traveled anywhere overseas? And Ant's response was no.
Stop the record and rewind that.
Right. And I made the comparison. That would be the equivalent of me going to Wall Street, never having worked on the stock exchange floor, trying to surmise what's going on when I have no goddamn clue. I would look like an idiot. I'm not calling him an idiot. I'm calling myself an idiot if I did that. So I need you guys to really understand what I just said here. I don't know what you do for a living. I don't know what Melody does for a living. But I would be an idiot without knowing anything about their job, having never even attempted to do it, to pass judgment saying things that I have no clue what I'm talking about. And the things that you say, Ant, sounds good streetwise. Like if a street nigga heard you, yeah, how you gonna go through there, man? Because they're comparing it to the street nigga shit in your neighborhood.
And this was the point Marty went nuclear.
Now, what I'm trying to tell guys, and let me just be clear. I don't give a shit whether you or anybody else travels. I don't have a discount for you. I don't have your mama's black package. I don't have a travel brochure with my name and my picture on the back with a 10% discount if you go through me. I'm not selling a book. I'm not selling a plan. I'm not selling a get-rich scheme. I don't give a shit. So a lot of times people have the inclination that I'm somehow on trial to convince someone else why they should be doing it. I don't give a damn what you do. If you don't want to travel, you want to stay in the States, good on you. Marty's on his own plan, and that's a Marty moment in itself. So when it comes to talking about things we don't know, I don't want to go too hard on you because I know you don't know and you're going by what you heard, probably some videos that you saw. But here's the difference. I'm in the mix. I'm boots on the ground. I've even told Melody, you need to stop talking about this and take a trip to Colombia yourself, because it's at some point you have to say to yourself, as a thinking man, if the argument is you guys are corny, you guys are lame, how dare you travel overseas, you need to up your game. I look at it like this. If these are all the men that the women don't want, if I was a man who didn't plan on traveling, I have no experience traveling, I would be jumping for joy. Because you know why? All the women would be for me. It would be no competition. So I don't understand. It's almost like when women say, I don't care if you walk out the door, and then you proceed to walk out the door, and then they block the door. And that's what's going on a lot with the men, because it's like, wait a second. If you're socially cued and you big pimping, and I'm not saying this is you, Ant, because I don't know what you do, but this is where I hear a lot from guys with similar talking points. If you have the social acuity to talk to these women the way they need to be talked to, and if you're taking down 9s and 10s consistently, then I don't understand how a loser with no game going overseas, doing his own thing affects you so deeply to the point where we're busting brain vessels. Like, here's the thing with me. Life is good, brother. I wake up, is the sunshine creeping through the window? Sometimes I have like a little bluebird come sing me songs at night. So like, I'm not angry about anything. I'm proven, I have friends in this space, a lot more friends outside of space, and a lot more friends overseas. So when it comes to like questions of how are you going to get through their men, I think that's what you said. Here's the thing. Let's have another Marty moment for a second. When you are a man of means, when you are a man of, let's just call it like, I'm not an ugly guy. I'm a pretty good dresser. Clearly, I know how to smell good, and I'm socially cued in where I can talk to foreign women, talk to domestic women. If I actually wanted to have a school of game, shit, nigga, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's not my angle. But what I'm saying is, again, you're not talking to a guy who has any of these troubles. So to that question, when I go overseas, it's the men hooking me up with their women because I'm about something, man. And that's the difference. See, a lot of dudes in America ain't about shit. So they can't fathom going somewhere else and being about shit because they ain't shit here. Let's just call it what it is. You know, they don't have the resources. They don't have the mental acuity. They don't really have that swag, because if it ain't key shit, it ain't nothing. You know, if you never spoke to another woman of a different race or a different culture, because when you even talk to these guys, let's huddle in for a second. When you really talk to these guys and they say, I'm getting all these women in my neighborhood, you know what I say, Aunt, between me and you? I lean over, I say, whip out that phone, let me see what you got, nigga. And this is when shit starts getting nervous. Niggas start double talking and they start stuttering. You know why? Because when you really put the receipts to the metal to the pedal, that's when the real shit comes out. See, I'm about those receipts. You know, so anybody, you know, and this is where the decimation comes in. This is where the miscreants, the deviants get their comeuppance. Because when I say, okay, well, if we're going to talk this money, game, power, bullshit, you know, nigga shit, let's do it and put it on the wood. And I have receipts where I've done this before with people and they chickened out. I'm not mentioning no names because I'm not trying to make nobody famous tonight. But what I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, their men are wanting to put their daughters with a men about means. That's the difference here. See, a lot of times here, you do not have men in the household. So you can't fathom how a man would react to a man who has his shit together. That's why most men say, well, how are you going to get through their men? Because there's no dynamic here in place to show them how it's done. No, how it's supposed to be done, when a man has his shit together, when he's clean, he's got his finances in order, he's got his emotional, what do the females call that, Melody? Emotional intelligence together, you know, whatever that means. When he's got all his pistons firing, and then I can go anywhere in the world. I can make it happen any country on this planet and talk to the men and the females. I don't have to just talk to the females. It's actually more advantageous to me to do business with the men, because the females are a byproduct of my success, period. There's no game included, like no batteries included, like the movie. I don't know if y'all know that back from the 80s. What I'm saying is this: when you have your shit together, women are not the focus, man. They're not for me at all. Maybe for some guys. I'm not going to act obtuse and say that there's some guys who they're women crazy. That is not the case here. And the guys that I travel, hang out with, and do business with give a shit about a female, because at the end of the day, it's about building your portfolio up. And if necessary, actually, we can bring Alonzo Hall up here. We could further expound upon that, because I don't know if people believe me or they think I'm bullshitting on here just to cap. That is not the case. I'm serious about my shit. So that's basically to answer that question. When I go overseas, I don't have to talk to women through the men. The men come to me and say, hey, I have a niece. I have a so-and-so who's a doctor who's looking for a guy. You know, you look like you have your thing together. Can I introduce you? You ever went anywhere? See, me talking to you about this is kind of like you've never been anywhere in terms of overseas. So these things, these different cultures and how people interact, is foreign material to you. But if you talk to me about something that happens around the corner from your block, I can relate to that because I've been there, done that. And that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard for me to explain to you what happens in a foreign land, and you've never taken a plane over any seas. And that's not a diss to you, but that's just a reality.